Hey, what's going on, G-Ballers? I have an exciting new knife here to share with you coming in from Shooziz. This is going to be out of their XUN line. Now, if this is your first time stopping by, welcome to GBall Vision. Drop a comment below. Let me know what your carry is. This is going to be the XUN125. And we've checked out the older brother to this knife, and we'll check that out here in a moment, which is quite a bit bigger than this one. This one is more compact. These are going to retail full price about $75, and you can pick them up as low as maybe $60, depending on where and when. I'll try to link these in multiple spots down in the description. We are going to be looking at, in this case, a satin finish 14C 28N drop point blade, and they do have a couple that have PVD coatings and then a couple with satin finishes. I think there's up to at least 6 different versions that you can choose from. Beautiful satin finish on this knife. You can see a little bit of oil on there just for transporting. We are looking at dual thumb studs and a front flipper for the deployment. I don't have a ton of experience with Shooziz, but the couple of knives we've checked out in the past have all been very solid, and everything that I've heard about Shooziz has been really good as well, from their steels being up to par, fit and finish, detents, all that sort of thing has all been praised from a lot of you guys out there. We are going to be looking at some fluted steel bolsters here with a G10 inlay, a full-length G10 backspacer. We do have a lanyard hole here, and then a deep carry clip. It is recessed into the scales there. We do have mushroom head screws, but there should be plenty of room in there to get this in and out of most pants pockets. We do have the ability to switch this over for left-hand carry, so a lot of people will be happy about that. And then one of my favorite combinations, we have a chamfer and jimping on that liner. So excellent job. We're going to be looking at about 30% lockup or so there, very early. We'll check that here in a little bit. We are perfectly centered up, which is exactly what we want. The detent is beautiful on this knife, and because of that full-length backspacer, the way these are contoured, this thing just feels like it was made for my hand. It is awesome. Very comfortable, and I know a couple people out there are absolutely in love with the 125 series, and for very good reason. Now, let's get into a couple of technical specs here. We are looking at steel for the liners as well. We do have we'll give it 3.25. Well, we'll give it 3.2 of total cutting edge. We'll give it 3.2 cutting edge and we have 3 1/8 of cutting edge, 3 3/8 of total blade, and coming down there at 7 9/16 overall. Couple of comparison knives. We have the Shooziz with the X-Lock, and we have the Trivisa Gecko here, going to be right in line with both of those. We have the Katuo Mini Griffin and the Porcupine from Vastid. Now, what I was actually missing, and people who are really familiar with Shooziz knives are going to know, I was messing up the actual series of this one here. This is actually the 123. This is the 125, but they're both out of the XUN series. Kind of a different format over there, and I'm still trying to get a hold of it, but there are some differences, and I kind of forgot what this knife exactly looked like, what its deployments were. I knew it had some sort of deployment here and a front flipper, but it's actually just a mini cutout there that doesn't go all the way through. It works really good. This is an awesome knife right here, but as you can see, it's going to be quite a bit longer and beefier than the 125. We'll get our 50 ways baked in GBall Vision Hank, and we'll see what this pocket clip looks like, what the retention is, and that's going to carry nice and deep, so a lot of people will really enjoy that. Little tiny bit there poking out, but not much at all. No branding on that clip. It is recessed into the scales. Where you make up with that, though, is they do have mushroom head screws. I would like to see them recessed or flat top screws. That way you have even more clearance in there. And then this texturing is really going to keep this knife in place. Like you can see here, plenty of room to get this in and out. Now, of course, as the seams get thicker, you could, it could prove to be somewhat of an issue possibly, but the retention is good and the spring is even better. So I haven't had any issues carrying the 123 in sweatpants, and that is going to be the same pocket clip on this knife. And if you know, pocket seams or sweatpants seams are very thick. So when something can go over those with ease, or when it fits on those, you know that it's going to carry in most stuff. We'll go ahead and get the arch nemesis off the shelf, and we'll give this knife a weight check. This is a beefy boy here. I like to guess the weight of the new knives that come into the channel. I invite you to play along. Put your guess down in the comments. Let me know what you think this knife is weighing in at. I'm probably going to be wrong on my guess here, horribly wrong. We have some serious heft going on with this guy. It feels good though in the hand. It feels like you have a substantial and solid tool, but it's not overly heavy, right? Some people will feel otherwise though. Boy, I don't even know where to start with this thing. Thick steel liners, contoured, feels awesome. I'm going to say that this thing is up at like 5.3. I am really shooting from the hip here. 6.7. Yeah, laugh it up, make fun of me. It's all good. It's all good. 6.7 and 190 grams. And I could always, edit that out or whatever, but you guys know I'll take my wins and I'll take my losses. And that was most certainly a loss. What I am interested in, though, is what does the 123 come in at? I was probably really wrong on this one as well. 6.9. So not a massive difference on weight, and look at the size. So that's crazy how they were able to keep the weight down so much on the larger one. We'll get the calipers out here and get a couple of measurements on the handle and blade. We'll start off with that contoured handle coming in at 0.68. So really going to fill the hand out nicely. 7.3 millimeters. Very nice handle. I absolutely love it. 3.5 millimeters and 140 thousandths. So a fairly thick blade stock. Let's see what it comes down to behind the edge here. We'll try to get a good hold. I want to come up just a little bit. And that's saying right there about 17 thousandths with that particular hold in that particular spot. Let's see how this bad boy cuts out of the box. We have our standard catalog paper here, and as always, a drop point, very versatile, pokey, great all-around EDC shape. And if you enjoy a little bit of heft with your folder, this will definitely do the trick. Let's see what we have. 14C should be razor sharp from the knife factory, and it feels as though this is definitely going to fit the bill. Beautiful, beautiful edge on this knife right here. Wow. That is really, really good. And I have heard a ton from a variety of people on their 14C that it stays sharp a good long time, and it's easy to hone up as well, which is exactly what we want from our 14C. So all things, point in a great direction for Shooziz. I'm not exactly sure if they OEM their knives or who is OEMing them, but I do know after handling 4 or 5 different knives from them, they have a solid reputation so far. We'll get the off-grid driver out and we'll give this thing a hardware check. We have a non-tooled pivot there with their logo. I think that looks nice and clean. I could do without the Shooziz here, but it is nice and small. It is out of the way, but at that point, I think do away with it, right? But that's just a minor nitpick. We have T6, T6, and T6, along with a T8 pivot. I would like to see T8 all the way around, of course. I always have the off-grid driver link down below in the description. Comes with a T6, 8, and 10, and you can store them right in the handle with these earth magnets. Has a spinner on the top for all you fidget fans. Excellent driver, always linked down in the description. We've already been over this really with a fine-tooth comb, perfectly centered up. The fit and finish is very good. I don't see any gappage. I don't see any uneven edges or angles, anything like that. Really good finishing work, machine work, detent, beautiful on this knife. Exactly what someone who is looking for action and detent is going to be looking for. Reverse flick, absolutely money. Thumb flick is beautiful on this knife. And then that front flipper being a liner lock as well, you should be able to do all the front flipper things your little heart desires, because that is a good front flipper design. The jimping is aggressive enough. Could be even a little bit more aggressive, but it is fine and it is aggressive, but just small critiques, right? And I would have liked to have seen them go all the way up to the top. Just another minor nitpick, but as this front flipper sits, it is very nice. You have a good distance from the pivot there, a good height, and a strong detent. So that's going to allow for this to have just beautiful front flipper action. And that is exactly what we have here. We're going to move into that lock here. We do have very early lockup, but that's not a cause for concern. I would say that's maybe even like 25%. Let's get our spine whacker here off of the toolbox, and we'll give this thing a couple of love taps. Make sure that lock is going to hold up for us. We will check this before we start. See if we can get any movement up or down, side to side, and I don't feel anything. So that is a good sign right there. We'll start off towards the tip, go with a couple of light taps to get us going, just to give the knife a chance and make sure nothing is very sloppy. We'll go to the middle here, and a couple of harder taps there in the middle. We'll close it and check it one more time. Very good. That is exactly what we want right there. Sounds like a hammer driving in a nail, which is great. This is really solid. I would look for these on a sale, no question about it. I could see where you might say 75 is a little high for the material choice, but we have to remember also that we can't just boil everything down to materials, right? Fit and finish, machining, all that sort of thing comes into play. I know it is a standard liner lock, but the fit and the finish, the machining, all that sort of stuff is here in spades. So, I could see waiting, no question. And if you can pick this up for under 70, this is a solid option. Like I said, I see these on sale on and off all the time. So definitely something to keep your eye out on. You'll have to let me know. What do you think of Shooziz, the 125, the 123? I always look forward to hearing from you. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I truly appreciate it. If you want to continue to see daily knife and EDC content, make sure you're subscribed. I would love to have you here. I'll pop up a couple of new videos. Go check one of them out. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.